So I'm Father Yprem Kalegian. I've been retired as a pastor since 2016. I figured after 43 years of 4 churches, and I didn't save the church yet, let's go do something else. So I've been doing a lot of other things, including, especially working with Holly. She's magnificent. Holly, you are fantastic.
Thank you.
The whole hot meal thing and the halo, you're awesome. You keep the city going. We really appreciate it.
And I didn't even pay him to say that either.
So you say.
We'll talk later. Hey, so there were 2 things. What's the theme of this thing here tonight?
The theme for our simple suppers this year is the work we do. And the work we do. And so one of the reasons I invited Father Yprem to talk is because he's done a lot of work over in Armenia. And I was going to ask you, do you speak fluent Armenian?
If you ask a fluent Armenian, no. No, I do, of course. Yeah, we had to before we can become an Armenian priest. You got to go overseas. Don't bother coming back unless you learn how to speak fluent Armenian. Yeah, that was a requisite. And so, yeah, all work is holy. So I'm going to talk about 2 separate things we do. The first thing is going to be what St. Mesro Church in Racine actually does over in Armenia. And the second thing is not going to double my time, don't worry. The second thing is our diocesan outfit, Fund for Armenian Relief, which is an operation over in Armenia. And I work with that. So 2 different things. The diocese, which is from New York to Denver, Texas to Minnesota, and St. Mesro, Racine, Wisconsin. I'm going to start with St. Mesro. So once every year, we get a team of about 15 people, and on their own dime, we go over to, me too, sometimes clergy don't pay, it's ridiculous. We go over to Armenia for 2 weeks. We tour for about 5 of the days, and the rest of the days, 2 days travel, and the rest of the days are working, helping people build their home with Fuller Housing. Fuller Housing is like Habitat for Humanity. Yeah. We chose Fuller in 2008 for various reasons, but that's the outfit we work with. Fuller Housing over in Armenia has built since 2008 1,300 homes. That's a lot of homes. Yeah, that's a lot of homes. When we first started, they were $5,000, which the family would have to pay back over 30 years. They don't make much money over there, so that's just, it's barely making it. The houses have gone up, like this year, they're up to $10,500. That's all the overhead, that's all the parts and everything. And then the family again has 30 years interest-free loan to pay that all back. That's what Fuller Housing does over there. When our team goes over, they pay their travel, they pay a fee to Fuller Housing, plus we have them each make a $400 donation to Fuller Housing Armenia, because we're just going over there to haul cement, We're doing the donkey work. And these people have lived there from the Soviet days on. They paid their dues already. And so they do most of the finesse work. And so we want to always donate money. St. Mesro, on top of that, has donated 10, 11, 12 homes for Armenia. So we keep the team going, we keep raising money. So 30% of the people in Armenia, probably now it's down, that's an old figure, probably it's 25%. A quarter of the people in Armenia live in substandard housing. Now, if you were to think of substandard housing, that would mean a leaky shower, or, the screens aren't on right. What we mean by substandard housing in Armenia is a shipping crate, enhanced with a potbelly stove and electric wire coming in, a shipping crate, or a basement. That's substandard housing. And you can imagine in the villages, standard housing ain't that much better many times. So, I'll get to some of this other stuff later. Can we put the first picture up of, now I gotta see what we're looking at.
We get the family biography.
Yeah, okay, let's go on.
Okay.
I'll talk about that.
No problem. Half-built house.
That's a half-built house. So, this is a family of 8. When we first went there, it was from 6-year-old to grandma, who looked very, very old. And what was her age? It was 66. You can't imagine what people that are 65, living in the provinces, in the village, life wears them down. And it's amazing. And so the son of the family said, after 1988, I'm going to buy a half-built house. So basically, this is what he bought. The walls are up. That's it. And then the economic condition of Armenia fell apart. They could not do anything with this. They lived in temporary shelter, 8 of them, substandard housing, for 30 years. So let's go to another picture and see what we got for pictures. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but this is actually the bottom thing is a shipping crate. They put a couple of shipping crates together. Because remember that Armenia had that earthquake and people were shipping over all sorts of stuff? The stuff came in big crates, huge crates, the size of a railroad car. Well, those shipping crates were left.
The sea land containers.
Yeah, we grabbed them. And people just started to put wood on top of the shipping crate, etc. So let's go to the next stuff. Oh, this is a little team that worked on the house. We got a lot of work done. We went through 2 floors. We got the cement down in all of the floors. It took a lot of work. We usually have teams. Some of the family members are in there. We usually have teams ranging from age 16 to the guy in the yellow shirt. We always invite him. He's going to be 84 now. He goes every year, and we all get along well. It's kind of cool. So I'll go to another picture. Yeah, this is working. This is a new cement mixer. 15 years ago, we did not even have a cement mixer. What we had to do was have 2 huge piles of sand, concrete, gravel, and 2 guys with shovels into the middle, a little bit of water, pounding it. It took forever. Then they came up with this thing. It's very creative. Isn't that bucket line? You can go to that's me. I look good. Let's go to another picture. This is the family. This is about 4 years ago. Grandma, 66 years old, the husband, the man with the hearts on his sweater. Yeah. He works at a military installation. And then the kids are in there. Great family. And this is in their finished home, by the way, this picture. Let's go to another picture. And this is where they live now. They went from a shipping crate. Every house we do in Armenia, first of all, they're better than here. Because the walls, if you saw that first picture, the walls are stone. Not cement block, stone from some mountain.
Wow.
This wide, this long, this tall. And then we put plaster on. Who's got plaster anymore in their homes? We plaster it. We get chandeliers going. Tile floors, because they do a lot of the work themselves, of course. They don't have to bring in any extras. Or neighbors or relatives come in. You always see people just coming in to help with their particular expertise. Very little has to be paid for. And so they end up living in a palace. The family of 8, 3 bedrooms, which is sufficient for a family of 8 over there. And let's go on to some more. Yeah, look at that. That's something. Yeah, a washing machine inside. Also, the bathrooms inside. Bathroom inside. And a lot of times there are communal outhouses in some of these provincial villages. Now they get a bathroom with running water inside. Let's go to another picture.
kind of key in the winter.
Yeah, it doesn't bother them. They're tough.
I'll get there.
They are tough. Oh, this is one of the little girls. So let's go to another one. In her new home, and they all say thank you. Yeah. So that's one family, interest-free loan. They're still paying back, but they're doing well. The mother and father take care of a little garden and some animals, provides food for the year. They make bread enough to last the winter, put it in their basement. This big round bread stuff. Fruits. They have all sorts of fruits from the trees. They have all sorts of huge jars of fruits through the winter. Because if you go to this particular village, the roads are impassable. Impassable. Even if you have plows. Impassable for 2 or 3 months. So you better have food in your basement that's going to keep.
I need him to refresh the presentation real quick.
Okay.
Get that
Sure.
other photo in.
Okay. And we'll go on to the next photo when you're ready. So,
Just needs to refresh it.
there we go. Now, when we first started going, when did we first start going? In the 90s or so. Anyway, mid-90s. Mid-90s, because I had to get to Racine first, right? We started in the mid-90s going over there. And for the first 5-6 years, we stayed in the capital city. Now, the problem there, capital city, well, we did go out to the villages, which were rough, like the ones I'm talking about. But then when you finished work, you came back to the capital city, which was too luxurious. You know, jazz clubs, nice restaurants. We give them 2 nights of that on these trips. Jazz clubs, nice restaurants, to die for. Hotels, you can't get crummy enough hotels. They're all nice hotels. We try to get the crummiest hotel in the city, but it's the city, it's the capital city. So it's too nice. You can't work in a village with those people who live in the way they live for 25 years, 30 years, and then come back to your nice capital city place. And so we went to one of the provinces, which is akin to Wisconsin. It's cold. The people are friendly. In Armenian, the word naive has a nice connotation to it. In other words, I'm going to trust you. You don't have to prove anything to me. It's kind of a Wisconsin of Armenia. And so we go there. We stay in the best hotel in the city. It's the only hotel in the city. It's terrible. We just love it because if you pay the guy behind the desk a couple of bucks, we just bring supper into the lobby. You know, cognac, beer, wine, and food that we get for the markets. We just enjoy ourselves. But we try to keep roughing it, and we can't rough it enough. So, are we ready to?
We're ready to go.
Well, let's go. I'm talking too much.
So you're on the
No,
Asiatic Valley.
And this is the next family. Let's go to another picture. They also were, this looks good. They were in temporary housing for 28 years. Let's go to another picture. Aslanians. This is the half-built house. You didn't see where their half-built, their temporary housing was another shipping crate. You really couldn't tell how miserable it was. No running water, no inside bathroom. And when we first came, we're going to work in 2 different houses. When we first came in, and the family, the father, how old was he at the time? 53 years old. He looked 80. He was blind, legally blind. The mother, 52 years old. You'd never guess. Looked much older. She couldn't do much. A son who worked hard, and a daughter, 26, 27 years old at the time. Both of them, they were twins with MS. And so when we first saw them, here's a blind father, an old woman, a nice hard-working young man, and this girl walking up the little hill, with a cane struggling with MS. Let me talk about them a little bit. We may end with this. I might not do the diocesan thing. This is good enough. we thought, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Jesus, the next family has 2 little kids, a man and a wife. Isn't that going to be much more fun? This was the house that we loved. Again, temporary housing. You should have seen. You had to be there. 28 years. Finally, though, after about 18 years of living in temporary housing, the boy of the family, remember I said he was 27, but when he was 17, he decided, forget about it. I'm going to start building a house. I'm getting on this. 17 years old. And of course, he had uncles and cousins, but he basically was maneuvering it. He got this much up. Look at that. Top right. Top right. He got that much up.
At 17.
Wait, no. Bottom right. He got that much up.
At 17?
Yeah, no, it took him 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And then 10 years, we met him when he was 27.
Oh.
Okay, the roof wasn't on yet either. But he got that going. He got that going. And so Fuller comes in and says, interest-free loan, we got your back. We're going to do this. And the rest is all history. We'll see some homes. Now, the young lady, Anush Aslanyan. Anush means sweet. Aslan means lion. Cool, huh? Yeah. Anyway, and she graduated from the university in Yprem, very smart, and she wanted to go on to med school. Now, I'm going to be telling stories that are embarrassing for me as a people, the Armenians. She wanted to go to med school, but they refused her because she had MS. How can you be a doctor? That's not our picture of a doctor. That was it. It was totally just that. Our picture of a doctor is not you. You cannot go to med school. That was the reason. And so you have to meet her, sweet lion, Anush Aslan. She's tough as nails. So she said, with an expletive, to you. And she went on and got her master's in biology. And then in her provincial city of Banazur, which is akin to Milwaukee, not the same population, of course, she started working with handicapped people. She started a center for handicapped people. She started a center where they'd make their own things and sell them for self-respect. Also, she was doing a lot of educating. We helped her, my other outfit, helped her get handicapped. She bought a new building. We helped her get handicapped, make it all handicapped access. She is a star in Armenia now. And she, a mover and a shaker. She's actually getting the city to have little like curbs where you don't have a curb. What do they call them? Handicapped access curbs. This was unheard of in Armenia. In her provincial city, she got that going. But let's keep going. I've talked enough. Yeah, we're just having a good time. Yeah, doing stuff. And this was a crew, again, 16 years old to 84 years old. Let's keep going. Yeah, and we're doing the buckets and the cement, and it's all going in. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, nice picture. Yeah, keep going. And this is, okay, nice home. This is their dining room, their hallway, 8 bedrooms. Okay, go. We've been back there since, and living room, and again, indoor washing machine, go figure. And that's the family. Awesome family. So that's what we do. What it all ends up to be is this. First of all, the bonuses for our team always, when we go back, we go to one of the houses we worked on or donated, people greet us, they remember us, because we work in a few villages only. They are our family and our friends. We have helped rebuild Armenia. Fuller has done, what did I say, 12 or 1,300 homes. We have done lots of homes. And these families, now the young boy of this Aslanian family, he'll get married, he'll have kids, his kids will live in that home. His kids will live. That's going to be the home of the Assam clan forever. You got to remember, a lot of these people, all of them in the provinces, they grew up under Stalin, the older ones. They got land, but that was it. It belonged to the state. And they lived under Stalin and on. And the KGB, there were bad days in Armenia. I won't go further into that. But now, with liberation, we became free from the Soviet Union, I think in 89 or 90. And these people now have this land. They paid with it with their sweat and blood. Sometimes some of them shipped to Siberia under Stalin. They paid for that land with their bodies, living sacrifice. Now they have a home for 100 years from now. We do it for that reason. We do it. The bonus is now that feeling of goodness, that feeling of having friends over there, and generations and me. One of our saints, Saint Gregory, one of the many Saint Gregories we have, said, "What do you have in common with God?" And we come to all sorts of theological responses, right? What do you have in common with God? This particular church father, a saint, said, "You have nothing more in common with God than the ability to do good works." That's what you have in common with God most. Your ability to do good works. What did God do? And it was good. The creation, right? And it was good. That's our ability. So we continue creation. Christians continue creation, working with God, because we're similar to God, because we can both do good works. And the Armenian church especially believes in this stuff. In the 13th century, we helped write the Nicene Creed, of course, in 325. About 1,000 years later, I'm looking it all over, being Christians for a while. We said, let's write a new creed. So we expanded the Nicene Creed, and then we added a line that's not in any other faith tradition. It ends with, "And for those who do good works, eternal life." That's a creedal statement we make. Our word for faith, yeah, it's a set of beliefs, but our word connotes 2/3 action. That's our word for faith, halak. It means more action than a set of beliefs. Sure, a set of beliefs. We got this stuff down. Oh, what do you do with it? Oh, you put it into action. That's what our word for faith connotes. So, well, you're in luck because I'm tired. I don't want to talk anymore.
But we got 4 more pictures.
Oh, we do. Go on. Where's the one
We'll
up top?
get there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this goes to my other outfit I work with. I'm not going to talk about it
We'll
tonight.
talk about that
We
next
do
year.
so many good things. Yeah, and some of the students I met over there.
There you go.
Oh, this is back to St. Mesro stuff. One of the girls saw it coming out of the cement thing. We used to just pile onto it, a tin plate thing, and then we had to scoop it up and put it in a bucket. She said, "That's ridiculous." So this young lady just took the bucket, put it under the mixer mouth, and she kept filling buckets, passing them up, filling buckets. She was splattered, she was covered, she was coated, she was cemented by the end of the day, but it worked. It worked. And the homeowners and the men who came to help out from the village, they're looking at this American girl, Susie, the kind of feminine girl. They're looking at it like, what's going on here? So Talim Masoya, she was just with me. I had a team that went to Atlanta, Georgia, to work on some habitat homes there in Atlanta, Georgia. She was on the team going there. Just got back from there last month. So, anyway.
So, what questions do do you have for Father Yprem real quick? And by the way,
Yeah.
in Armenian, it's Der Yprem.
Yeah.
Judy, I can't remember. Yedisi.
Yeditsky means elder woman.
Took me a while to figure out. He always put Der Yprem, and I'm like, well, that's not nice. So, John, you had a question.
The homes that you build with the people, are they obligated to help in the next home? that's built?
Obligated is such a funny word in the villages. They just do it. They just do it.
They just-
Yes, of course. Yes, if they're these villages are so very small. Yes, you don't have to obligate them.
Sure.
They just do it. Anything that is needed. Remember, we ran out of power once. Power lines. These villages are laughable, and so they had to go to another home to get their power. Well, they were taking wire over fences. I said, why don't you just go to the next house? They said, well, no, that's not a Fuller family. But, 2 houses over with this Fuller family. Yeah, take our electricity, have some. No, they're always helping each other. And talk about sweat equity. Habitat for Humanity has sweat equity. This is real sweat equity.
So, you mentioned a lot about Armenia under Stalin, and
I had
what
a
I'm
cousin that ended up in Siberia. Yeah.
well, I mean, it's pretty clear that, especially with the St. Mesrop faith community, that your faith unites you as a community. So, but I'm wondering, after all those years under Stalin and the oppressiveness against Christianity, against faith in completely, what's it like over there as far as faith right now?
The Soviets, the 70 years of the Soviet Union, we were the last to collapse. On the old on the old rubles, they had all of the SSRs in order. We're the last one.
Really?
It took them a while,
Yeah.
but 70 years under the Soviets, it was crushing. Priests could not visit homes. KGB was watching your sermons. If you were too uppity as a priest, you were in Siberia. This was common. Sent off to Siberia. This was tough. Grandma could never burn a candle in the house on a Saturday night. There'd be KGB watch, like neighborhood watches. There'd be a KGB watch, candle burning, maybe in the next day. You did not get job promotions if you were openly Christian and went to church. On and on. I can tell you so much more. They just kicked it all out. There was the underground church, though. They would go to the regular masses, the regular services, and then they would go to various homes. They would all split up, hundreds of them, in any particular city. And they would continue to worship the underground church. So that when freedom came, suddenly Sunday schools, which were on Saturday, of course, so you go to church, Sunday schools would have hundreds of kids in all these different cities. Well, who was teaching them? The underground Christians who had suffered so much. And Bible studies. After the earthquake, hundreds of people coming to Bible studies in any given city. So it suddenly rebounded. Yeah. Underground church, thank God, because the masses, you didn't have a life if you were openly Christian over there.
It's like the story of Huldah taking the scriptures underground in the Old Testament.
We had to keep them in the floorboards sometimes. You didn't want some communist guy coming in and seeing on your bookshelf religious stuff. Forget about that. Thank you.
Any other questions? We'll continue to grill you over soon.
Yeah, please.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
I enjoyed coming.
And Judy, and I